I decided, how did your English teacher teach you to write? You know, it's always the who, what, when, and why, okay? So I tried to simplify it as best I could, and we're going to kind of go with this as far as learning to blog. So let's talk about who is our audience in a blog. You guys give me some ideas of what you think might be our audience for a blog.
Buyers.
Okay.
Everyone.
Potential clients.
Everyone, but give me an idea of what you mean by everyone.
Sphere of influence.
Okay,
Maybe, you know.
that's good.
People you don't even know.
Okay.
They're on your website.
It's really the world too. It's not really just the United States, the world.
I've had an increase of kids or their parents making appointments and saying, no, that's the one I showed you. I mean, anywhere from like middle school age, and
Really?
they sound like they were young, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll meet you there. And I get to the appointment and I realize, okay, you're my client, and they happen to be your father that's gonna pay for it. So they're redoing all the research for their parents now.
Okay, anybody else have any ideas? I'm going to add a couple. I want you to think, I want to kind of dissect the buyer situation. So I want to call them niche buyers, okay? So let's get deeper on what that looks like. It could be a nature lover. It could be someone that's looking at foreclosures. It could be someone who loves to fish. It could be someone who just got divorced. It could be an entertainer. We live in, Branson, Missouri. It could be a first-time home buyer. It could be a luxury buyer. It could be someone who's downsizing. So don't think just specifically a buyer, but what type of buyer that person might be. And that can hold true for you guys when
You're good, I read.
Yeah. The next thing, and let's talk, the other, it's not on here, but I like to call it the niche location. Does anybody have a niche location? Lake. That's good.
Golf course.
Thank you. Condo living.
I know.
Okay. A farm. A retirement community. Country living. Lakefront, lake view. A ranch. So what we need to get to is not just say, okay, location, but think about what that looks like and do like a deeper dive on it. Because when you start writing towards these specific types of people, guess who's online looking for those specific things, and they're going to key in words around those specific things. So when you're writing your blog, you need to think through what these might be. Then I think there's another other agents and vendors. Okay? Maybe you want to start a relationship with people out of Kansas City or St. Louis and start farming for business with other agents there. How do you think you might be able to get them to figure you're pretty sharp and on the ball if in fact you're sending blogs to them about this area so they can be more educated when they're working with their clients who are thinking about coming here? And then another one I think we kind of don't think about is the seller. Okay? And this could be the first time seller. They're different than a person who sold multiple homes. A person who's retiring, has retired, now is in the process of going into an assisted living. That is a different type of a seller. A move up, a move down, a luxury seller, and then a foreclosure or a short sale. I mean, those types of sellers are really different and unique, and you can, again, tailor to those types of sellers and blogging. What do you think the purpose of blogging is? Somebody give me kind of what their thoughts are.
Sharing of information.
Okay,
Identifying who you are.
exactly. That's a good one.
Exposure.
Yeah. I think the power of words and pictures and video far outweigh pretty much anything and everything that's out there. I think people want to be touched. I think they want to be human, and I think they want that from us. And it's really hard on the internet because it's hard to be human on the internet unless you're doing something like a blog. I mean, everybody's putting out all the same type of information about homes and all that stuff, but the only way a potential customer can look at you differently is through your aspect of different ideas and sharing of yourself. So when you look, the other reasons we need to do it, Google juice. You know, Faye, you can jump in anytime here. You know, it's an opportunity to be found, but Google Juice rules out on the internet. And if you've got it, you're somebody. If you don't have it, you're not. So, you know, you can sit on the, on the bench and not participate and let other people pass you by, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to get engaged and I'm going to, just try to get involved in this process. The other thing is that you become an expert. I mean, I always say write about what you love or write about what you know, because if you don't write about what you love or what you know, you're going to be exposed and people are going to not want to read your blogs anyways. It's an opportunity to farm for your clients in all those niches that we talked about. And the other thing I think about blogging is, I mean, as an agent, the biggest thing that we provide for our clients, I think, is communication. Whether it's communicating effectively as the seller of a property or a buyer of a property, but this allows people who could be your potential clients to see how you communicate via the internet and not actually have to sign on the dotted line with you. So they can see how you will work and how you will communicate effectively. If you can communicate online and in a blog, you're probably going to be pretty good in person and in negotiations. So I think it's just a powerful way to kind of build an ambiance around what you have to offer your clients.
I've never heard of Google Juice before. That's the first one. What is
Well, did you farm that term, or did I just make that up?
No, it's a real term. I've heard it repeatedly in the Keller Williams. It's used over and over. What it means is its power to rank on Google. And like when Cheryl was talking about niche locations like Branson, lakefront homes, or whatever it
that's
is,
the juice?
those certain keywords like that, really getting down to that niche, can carry a lot of power. So the power word is, they call it juice,
Okay.
to be ranked.
Okay, so now we're getting to the what. What do you want to write about? What are some ideas of things you might want to write about? And what might your audience be searching for? I think those are two key questions that we have to answer, because if you can answer those two questions, then people will find you and they will read what you write. So, what do I write about? I'm just going to give you some ideas of what I write about. Things that I'm passionate about. You know, I kind of like to eat, so you probably are going to see a few blogs out there about places I go to eat, because I like to eat. I write about things that I enjoy. I mean, maybe it's a hobby. Maybe you're a really good fisherman. Maybe you're good in some kind of sport like golf. Maybe you're a naturalist and you want to write about that. Or maybe you like to read and you want to write about books. I mean, when you think about all the things you could write about, I mean, you could write forever. Then, obviously we're going to write about our properties. So, I mix what I write about. Sometimes I write about my properties. Sometimes I write about something that I think is fun. Sometimes I write about suggestions for first-time home buyers, or how to get your credit where it needs to be. All of those things you can write about. But other things that you can write about: attractions, destinations, entertainment, shopping, if you enjoy shopping. Best places to shop in Branson, Missouri. I mean, there's one for you. Things to do here on Table Rock Lake. You could do how to get up on skis. There's always something that you can come up with. And I think the options are truly endless on what you can write about. I would say I always try to, if I'm writing about a property, I think, okay, what are the 2 or 3 things about this property that makes it unique and interesting and would sell it? So I figure out what those 3 things are, okay? Then I try to sell the lifestyle in which I want that person who's going to live in that home and how it looks. And I write about that. So, and I think you can do that just in any blog that you're going into. Just decide I'm going to write about 2 or 3 things, give yourself the headers, and then just fill in. Yeah.
When you do your blog and you're doing that, have you identified the property by address? Or are you identifying the property by a link? How are you identifying that property to your blog?
I'm going to go into that
Okay,
later,
sounds good.
so I will kind of
Thanks.
go through that. So.